ball. We're doing it.
We're back, baby.
We're back, baby.
Not just with the podcast, but on TikTok too.
Oh, yeah. I'm Jen.
And I'm Em.
And this is In My Haunted Era. Thank you for listening. We took a brief little hiatus. I think the last time we checked in, we were both starting new jobs. So this was like back in June when we last recorded.
July.
It was July. Yeah. And now it is January 19th, D-Day for TikTok. That turned out not to be D-Day. Question mark.
The day before the inauguration.
Yeah. So we've been through a lot in the last few months. It's been a lot of emotions in this country.
Yeah. I mean, for context, it is 3 p.m. and I have wine.
Yes. I would have wine, but I have to work after this. So I have wine in spirit, though.
And she did have coffee.
Oh, so here's what happened. What happened was I was setting up on her beautiful little coffee table. On my way here, I got my venti vanilla sweet cream cold brew with the extra vanilla sweet cream foam. And I moved it out of the way, but I did not move it out of the way, it turns out, because the whole ass thing dumped over into her coffee table and partially on the floor. So we just spent the last, 10 minutes cleaning up my mess. Been profusely apologizing.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think timing-wise, it worked out. We allotted 30 minutes for technical error, but it turned out it wasn't technical error.
It was just error.
It was
just normal error. Good thing we allotted that time.
It's okay.
Fucking thing.
My Pomeranian was very excited because she loves sweet cream.
She does. So, and I did bring her pup cup like an asshole. So next time I bring pup cup and a closed cup for me with a lid that screws on tight, that stays closed.
But we're here.
And we made it.
We made it.
We fucking
made it through the holidays. Made it through first 6 months of a new job.
Yeah. I don't know when this episode will come out, so it'll probably be not far, but like a couple weeks away from when we're recording this.
We might be in a new job.
Who knows what happened? We might have a different president. I mean, we will have a different president, but maybe I don't know. I'm not going to hope anymore.
I have no hope to give.
No hope. No one can save us. So if you're feeling, kind of hopeless, like a lot of us are, you aren't alone.
At least you're still alive.
You're still alive. And we still have TikTok.
Yeah.
So
unlike these bitches we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, they did not have TikTok.
God, can you imagine?
I can't imagine.
How'd they get their dopamine?
My people didn't even have running water, I don't think.
What the fuck?
I know. I don't know. They were on like covered wagons and shit.
Oh dear. No, I wouldn't have survived. No.
The Lord knew that wasn't for me.
No. If I had to shit in a bucket, I wouldn't have survived.
Or in the woods.
Like in the castles, how they had you would sit kind of on an upper story, and then the shit would just fall out of this concrete thing into whatever.
Can I tell you that I didn't know that was how castle plumbing operated?
That was disgusting.
I wouldn't have made it.
Wait, have you seen the diagram of it?
I have not seen the shit diagram.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to pull it up.
Pull up the diagram. Oh my God. The Lord really knew that I was meant to be in this time for some reason. I mean, definitely because the past times I would have died at 4 of cholera.
Yeah.
Immediately. Maybe I did in a past life.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a poop tower.
Okay.
And they have these little, I don't even know what to call it. Not a crevice, I guess kind of a crevice in these towers that leaned over the side, and you would sit in them, and then when you took a shit, it would just fall out of the castle.
This is not a visual medium, but I hope you can tell that my jaw is open.
We'll post the picture.
We will post a picture on Instagram. It'll be the first in the carousel.
And I don't know. That's funny. And I don't know if it was for just people who worked in the castle, because didn't royalty literally go in a bucket and
they
come
had
get it?
royal buckets.
Not these.
I need to do more. Do you know is there an official name for that? What did you Google to get that? I need to know.
Oh, what did I Google? Castle poop tower.
Castle poop tower.
And then it's a Reddit. And it says toilets in a medieval castle.
Oh my God.
What? Oh my God. If the poop was particularly big, the crowd would cheer because it meant the kingdom was doing good. Oh, because there was enough food to fill your bowels.
I don't know what to say to that.
Me either. See, I wouldn't have lived. I wouldn't have had a good time.
I could have done the cheering part. Because, I guess at my job, whenever my patient shits, or, as a mom, whenever your kid takes a shit, you're like, wow, that was such a good poop. So I think I could have done that part of it. But her face right now.
Y'all.
Shock, disgust.
So mid-hiatus, I went to Ireland with my husband and my parents, but it says on here, I went on a tour of a castle in Ireland that had this very setup, and the guide mentioned that when they washed clothes, they would hang them up in the toilet area because the gas/ammonia from the piss and shit would come back up the poop chutes and kill the lice on the clothes.
Come back up the poop chute?
I did not learn that when I was in Ireland.
I mean, I guess it's like, it's the lesser of two evils, right? Like, do you want the poop chute gas on your clothes or do you want lice? What would you choose? Poop chute gas or lice?
I guess the gas. The smell.
I guess the gas.
That doesn't affect like your skin or your...
Yeah, that's true.
Jesus Christ. This is some bleak shit.
This is some
literally
bleak. Well, I feel like it's appropriate for the time, but oh my God. Thank you for blessing us with that.
You're so welcome.
You know, we also both went to the Airs tour again while we were on our hiatus. We both got to experience that again. Because you went when she was in Arlington, right?
I did. May 2023?
March
2023.
Yeah.
They both start with M's.
It's been so long.
I know. March 2023, and then I went October 2024.
On your birthday?
I did. October 20th, 2024,
baby.
In Miami.
What is that? It's not Libra.
I'm a Libra.
You're a Libra.
I'm like 2 or 3 days from being a Scorpio, but I am definitely an October
God.
Libra. Yeah.
That's like Kevin. He's technically on the cusp of Leo.
Yeah.
And forgot what comes after. I'm a terrible witch.
Virgo?
I think it's Virgo.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna be
August,
screaming
September,
at us.
It's gotta be. It's Virgo.
Yeah. But he is so fucking Leo.
Yeah.
Like I did his natal chart. And I'm telling you, 3 out of his 4 or 5 big planets are Leo. And I'm like, this motherfucker is Leo as hell. Like 100%. As Leo as you could be, honestly. And he is. Like, you don't even have to do a chart to know that man is a Leo.
Yeah, which is funny. So I've known her husband since I was in high school. And Leos and Libras are like destined to be friends.
Yeah.
And every time I see a thing or it's like chaotic Leo and this Libra, and I'm like, oh my God, it's me again.
It's me again.
Like when we ganged up on Steven when we lived together, it was just
that so much.
He brings out the meanness in me, and I love it.
Yeah, I love that so much because he's not traditionally like a mean person, but I feel like the Libra probably brings it out of him too.
Yep.
Like he's actually very nice, and like if you try and talk shit to him, it's hard. I can't bring him my work tea and have him be on my side. He won't be on my side. He'll
tell you like, stop being mean, don't talk shit.
Yeah,
but then
and I'm like, just tell me you're boring, Kevin.
Yes, he does do that. I've never noticed. Yeah. I would be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
don't make me feel bad.
Yeah, I have feelings and I have opinions,
and
I'm allowed to express them, and I should be able to express them to him and have him be on my side as my husband.
Fuck them Leos.
Fuck them Leos. I know, apparently I'm Aquarius, and I feel like I identify very strongly with that. But apparently Aquarius is a winter Leo, and they're opposites on the little wheel. So it's like a really good match, an Aquarius and a Leo. So like I think we are like pretty well matched in a lot of ways. We complement each other a lot. But I have the darkness of the winter.
And he's just like a golden retriever.
He is a golden retriever, light as the sun. He is just...
I know, it's gross.
He lights up a room.
For context, his favorite character in Inside Out is Joy.
Yeah.
And when that movie came out, I hated Joy because I was like, she's fucking annoying. She's like toxic positivity.
Yeah.
And my favorite character was Sadness.
Yeah.
That's Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin is Joy.
Yeah. I totally identify with that.
Yep.
I have seen those movies so much, and I don't remember any other characters except those two.
No.
Is it like a chaotic mean one? Because that might be me.
Disgust. She's a little bit mean.
That might be me. I'm disgusted by most things.
She's fashionable, though. So.
Okay. Well, that works. Now that TikTok's back, I can finally stay in fashion because, like... I don't know how to do anything. I learned how to do my makeup on TikTok. I learned how to dress on TikTok. I have learned so many things from TikTok. Like, thank God.
What to cook?
The good Lord President Trump has saved us.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. I'm going to take my first sip of my wine with that.
I mean that with no sincerity. Oh, my gosh. All right. Well, should we get started?
We should. Who wants to go first?
Nose goes?
Okay, I'll go.
I'm just kidding. I can go. I don't care. It's up to you.
No. That's fine. So we're going to talk about 2 of my favorite things. Well, let me take another sip of my wine.
Take a sip. What wine is it?
Bro, I don't know. It was on sale at Total Wine.
Okay, I
think it's a Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc. That's perfect.
But I don't know what kind. So we're going to discuss 2 of my favorite things. Haunted stuff and books.
Oh, my God.
So this is the Sweetwater County Library in Wyoming, which...
Mine's in Wyoming too.
Shut up.
No, that's amazing.
Love Wyoming. I love Wyoming, Montana.
It's so beautiful.
So beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I grew up going there because my cousins, my mom's sister, they moved up there when I was a kid. So where I learned to ski at age 10.
Y'all went there.
Yeah, we went there. We went to Montana this past year to go visit for my grandma's 80th birthday. She moved up to live with them. And I know, right? And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And like, why we would drive, my parents were like, we're not flying. We're saving money. And we drove our fuck-ass minivan all the way up from Texas to Montana. And like, they live in the middle of Montana, not like, Yellowstone right on the border. It's like, it's like a few more hours in. And so we drove through Wyoming probably once a year or every other year for like, my childhood. And the Tetons never ceased to take my breath away.
Yes.
Like, more stunning as I got older. So beautiful.
We stan Wyoming and Montana.
Go
take a trip. We did that drive too when I was a kid.
Did you?
We only had bologna sandwiches in the trunk all the way up.
Yep. We had PB&J's, baby. PB&J's at a rest stop.
Bologna all around.
Yep.
So this is Green River, Wyoming. We'll have to get a picture of Green River, Wyoming, because it is beautiful. Sorry. It's a small town with a lot of history, and it's nestled on the banks of the Green River, Green River, Wyoming. Though the town is small, it's had a lot of historical events. It was really big with the westward expansion, so it was where a lot of people went. It was bustling development for a railroad. And one of the places that stands out historically, it's a landmark with a lot of unexplained occurrences, is the Sweetwater County Library.
Ooh.
Yes, I want to go to this library.
I love a library. I love a good library.
Yeah, and what I learned, and so this is like many towns of its era, Green River faced challenges in managing its deceased, which is not something I've ever thought about. But I can't stop thinking about it.
Did they have a lot, like more deceased than normal, or just like they generally didn't know what to do with them?
They didn't know where to put them. I mean, you would bury them, but then it'd become overcrowded, much like a lot of our what's it called, cemeteries and stuff. Yeah. And then there are some that I think so. There is one in a nearby town that it's like one of the only ones within a 100-mile radius that they can stack bodies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like underground?
Yeah. Huh. So like you can buy like a plot and like you can just stack your family's bodies on. And I was like,
that makes sense. Is it still 6 feet? I guess maybe it's.
I don't know.
It would be deeper, right?
I don't know.
Interesting.
But I guess like back in the day, this was a really hard thing because like they would run out of land. I guess there were more deaths and more frequent deaths, I guess. But the town's original graveyard was established on a plot of land not far from the heart of the town, which like, Jesus Christ.
The outskirts are nice.
I need to take a walk. But in the early days, burial practices were far less regulated, obviously, than they are today. Families buried their loved ones just close to home, often on private land or in communal plots set aside by authorities. They're just like, hey, we're going to put you in the backyard. But as the Green River expanded and developed, because like I said, it was near a railroad, so did its need for space. And by the turn of the 20th century, the original graveyard had become overcrowded and unsanitary. Oh. I don't know how you take care of that, though.
I don't either.
You can't Lysol a graveyard.
You can't Lysol. You can't do what we just did with your coffee table.
Clorox wipes.
Clorox wipes.
Sponsor us. A stark reminder of the town's rapid growth and the challenges it faced in managing its deceased population. So the more it grew, obviously the more deaths they saw. Didn't have anywhere to put them. So in response to the challenges, local officials made the decision to relocate the graveyard in a new site on the outskirts of town.
Perfect.
Yes.
Where it should have been the whole damn time.
Uh-huh. The process was intended to be thorough, respectful, and meticulous, and families were given the opportunity to relocate their loved ones to a new cemetery while remaining graves were carefully exhumed and reinterred. Reinterred?
Yeah, reinterred. Yeah.
Oh, you know that because that's like, is that a medical term? I had to look it up.
No, I just listened to a lot of weird shit.
Okay, I had to look it up and I was like, oh, okay.
I know, like, and the interment like, is burying the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't know. Now you know.
Now you know.
However, despite all of its efforts, not all of the graves were successfully moved because they just up and forgot where bodies were.
You know what? That happens.
Yeah, they were inadvertently left behind, forgotten beneath the surface of new land that just grew.
Yeah.
So over time, the town continued to grow and develop, and the memory of the original graveyard began to fade. So it's what's sacred ground was turned into something else.
Of course it was.
For a new chapter of Green River's history.
Did they build that library on it?
So we're way forwarding. Fast forward to the 1980s.
Okay.
When long forgotten graveyard.
Long time.
Right. No one is thinking about it. So the Sweetwater County Library, which is a cornerstone of education and community in Green River, was in need of a new location. And the decision was made to construct a modern facility on the very site where the old graveyard once stood. Oh. Now believed believed to be entirely relocated.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course.
Obviously, records weren't well kept, and this is the 1980s.
And what year was it again that they moved the graveyard?
I don't think it had the actual year on there. But way before. Like, I would say
like a century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, late 1800s. And despite the best intentions and efforts to honor the past, guess what? Echoes of history seemed to persist, because of course they do.
Of course they do.
Yeah, the horrors persist.
Echoes be persisting. Horrors be persisting.
So almost immediately after the library opened its doors, reports of unusual occurrences began to surface. Because no shit, I'd be pretty pissed. Actually, I don't think I would be pissed.
Honestly, if you put a library on me, hell yeah.
I don't think I'd be mad about it.
But maybe they were like illiterate. And they were like, wow, you're building a library on me and you know I couldn't read.
Oh my God, I didn't think about that. Yeah, well, and like just sort of the disrespect of like
constructing anything. Yeah,
forgotten.
Exactly.
A lot of staff members reported hearing footsteps in empty corridors, whispers echoing through deserted rooms, and the inexplicable movement of objects.
Oh.
Yeah, so there are plenty of events every day that just defied explanation.
Wow.
And I mean, obviously, if you're working in a library, you are educated.
Yeah.
Trust me, you have to have a master's degree.
Yeah.
Tried it. But you are educated, so it's not like we're just making shit up.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some of the hauntings. So literally from the moment the library opened its doors, staff and visitors alike, visitors too, not just staff, were reporting these strange phenomena. And one of the most commonly reported experience is the sound of unexplained noises. So, like I said before, footsteps would echo through hallways and whispers would drift from corners. And there was occasionally a faint, mournful cry that was reported by several visitors at the library.
Oh.
When no one was around, just tears.
Imagine you just studying.
Oh my God, shut up, because listen, that had set that
oh my
up.
God!
Imagine yourself alone in the library after hours, okay? Like either studying with, special circumstances or whatever, or like a lot of librarians have to stay pretty late to just like put stuff away because the lights are dim. You're finishing up some work and suddenly you hear the distinct sound of footsteps approaching. But when you look up, no one's there.
Oh my God, I would shit my pants.
In the comfort of all of these books, that's so scary. It's supposed to be like a comfort place for a lot of these people.
But it's inherently creepy too because the libraries are just like notoriously like silent, right? So like any noise like that is like, especially when like the sun is not out, like has to be even more jarring.
Dude, but they said it just happens so often that a lot of the staff grew accustomed to just these eerie occurrences. So I was like, imagine that being in the job description, right? You get your master's degree in library sciences, you live in Wyoming, you're gonna go work at this library that you've loved all your life, and it's like, oh yeah, I be knowing about the ghosts, so that's why I'm qualified, as opposed to coming in from a different state really wanting to be a librarian, and on the job description it's like, must be okay with hauntings. It's like, excuse me?
Do you think they disclose that?
I have to, right?
Right. Or I mean, like, if they don't, like, you find out like day one, right? Like, that's something that coworkers would probably be like, oh, by the way.
Or just the town in general. It's like, oh my gosh, welcome. Oh,
you're
to
working
town.
there? Like, you
got a job doing what?
Yeah.
Has anyone told you? Like, oh my God.
Like, you would know about it before you started, I'm assuming.
I hope so. There's also a particularly upsetting report that comes from the library's basement. Staff members have heard sounds like children laughing and playing, but when they go down to investigate, it's empty.
It just gave me chills a little bit.
Fucking kids. Ghost kids are the worst.
Ghost kids are the worst.
And it leads us to one of the most frequently seen apparitions of a young girl, around 7 or 8 years old. And everyone who's seen her described her as wearing an old-fashioned dress. That's my favorite description.
Yeah.
Is old-fashioned. Because like you don't know.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, my husband, he calls things old-timey.
Yeah. I literally use the words old-timey
he won't watch anything if it's too old-timey. And I'm like, what is old-timey to you?
It's very subjective.
Anything before 2000 is old-timey.
Anything before 2000. Before 2020, old-timey.
Old-timey. So, or with ringlets in her hair. Old-timey dress, curly hair.
Sweet girl.
And she's often just seen skipping through the library, seemingly oblivious to the modern world around her. So at least, like, that one doesn't sound malicious at all.
Yeah.
Then there's a man.
Oh, of course there's a man. There's always a man.
He's described as having a stern expression and dressed in clothing reminiscent of the late 19th century.
Okay.
He's often seen near the entrance of the library. Welcome in.
Welcome. Welcoming committee.
He doesn't interact with anyone, but he just stands there silently as if guarding the threshold.
Okay.
So a lot of people have speculated that he might have been a caretaker of the cemetery or just perhaps another one of the souls that were left behind.
Yeah.
And that makes me really, like, creepy, yes, not malicious, but also, like, I'm not going in there.
No.
If I see a fucking man standing there.
In 18th century or 19th century garb.
Yeah. No, thank you. I don't need that Emily Henry book that bad.
No. I'm going to just Amazon it.
I'm
going to Amazon it. I'm
sorry.
This
is why libraries are dying.
Yeah. Jeff Bezos.
And then, like I said previously, objects moving on their own is another common occurrence. Books are found on the floor. They seem to have been pulled from shelves by unseen hands, which that's always kind of freaky.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And sometimes entire sections of books are rearranged overnight.
Woo.
So it kind of seems like the spirits are still trying to maintain some sort of resemblance of order in the disrupted afterlives, but also causing a little bit of chaos. That would piss me off. Yeah. As a librarian.
Like, I put that shit back. Don't fucking touch it.
It's the worst. And then one of the most dramatic incidents that was reported involved a heavy wooden chair, a librarian. God. A librarian recounts how she had just finished setting up a room for a children's reading hour. She left the room for a moment, and when she returned, the chair had moved to the center of the room.
Oh, no.
No one else had been in the area, and there was no explanation for how it could have happened. There are cold spots all throughout the Sweetwater County Library. Visitors and staff often feel sudden drops in temperature, sometimes accompanied by a feeling of being watched.
Oh.
These cold spots are particularly common in the older sections of the library. Guess where?
Where?
Where the cemetery was.
No!
Blueprints have shown that those cold spots, like, particularly, they're, like, concentrated over where the cemetery had been. So there have been plenty of paranormal... Guys, it's not even the wine.
It's not the wine.
It's just my voice. Okay, so paranormal investigation teams, plenty of them, have taken an interest in the library, and over the years, several teams have conducted investigations capturing various types of evidence. Electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs, which we are all familiar with, are a common find. Investigators have recorded disembodied voices answering questions, laughing, and even calling out names.
Okay.
And I couldn't find, like, an episode of anything for it, but that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I bet somebody's done it.
Yeah,
I bet Zach Bagans has been there.
One team managed to capture a particularly chilling EVP while asking if anyone was present. A clear voice responded, "We're still here." Oh. Which is so heartbreaking.
That's really sad.
The root of all, like, horror and haunting stories is so heartbreaking to me.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to be forgotten.
No.
And that's exactly what happened to all these people who were at the cemetery. With that, like, a lot of the evidence supports that the theory that the spirits of those left behind during the cemetery relocation are still lingering, unable or unwilling to move on. Yeah. So the Sweetwater County Library does embrace its haunted reputation. Oh. The staff maintains a log of paranormal activities.
That's so fucking cool.
So, like, in a way, yes, they were forgotten initially, but their stories are still being told, and they're like, and so they just document the various experiences reported by employees and visitors, and it not only, the log of all these things doesn't just serve as a record of the unexplained, but also, like, a way for the community to connect with its history in a deep personal way. So despite the hauntings, and honestly probably because of them, the library remains a beloved community. It's a place where people come to learn, to explore, and yes, to experience a brush with the unknown.
Oh my gosh.
The spirits that linger there seem to coexist peacefully with the living, adding a layer of mystery and intrigue to the library's atmosphere.
I wonder if that's why they're not malicious, because while they were initially forgotten, probably not intentionally, but they're being remembered in this way, and they're not trying to, like, sage them out of the library. They're just, like, respecting and coexisting with them versus trying to get rid of them, trying to help them move on, trying to do all that stuff.
And I don't know, I'm just curious about other really haunted places, kind of what practices were there before, and, like, what made someone malicious, like, in the afterlife.
If it was just, like, inherently, like, a demonic type spirit, or if that was just how they were in life. Like, they were just kind of malicious in general. Bitches. Yeah. They're just cunts in life. They're going to be cunts in death.
I know, but, like, I feel like in the, with westward expansion into Wyoming, I mean, sure, there were like duels, right? Of like, cowboys or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What would you really have to be malicious about? I guess like land and money, but it seemed like, especially the apparitions that we're seeing, like young children, and which is so sad.
I know.
But like, imagine though, if you have a young kid, you have like 7 young kids.
Yeah.
One of them dies, gets buried.
Gonna die. Yeah.
Everyone moves on. Like, help, I'm still at the restaurant.
Yeah,
like that
help, I'm still at the restaurant.
Yeah,
exactly.
that whatever little kid that never got to grow up is still there.
Yeah.
Easy to forget, unfortunately. But
and I feel like the spirits of kids are like very strong. Like just
100%.
Just like in life and in death. Like their spirits are just, I don't know, they're just effervescent. They're just, I don't know, full of energy. And I don't think that doesn't go away with death. I don't think.
And that's why I also think a lot of the reports are of like the children laughing, children running through, knocking shit over. That's
kid shit. Yeah. That's what my kids do, that shit all the time.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I also took a lot of comfort in being like, I took a lot of comfort as a kid with the library. Every summer, that's where we spent a lot of our time. Yeah. And I'm just imagining, you know, these spirits of these young kids, like finding a safe haven with these people. Like, cause,
exactly.
You know, and like libraries inherently are gentle places.
Yeah.
Gentle people go there. Wonderful human beings like flock to libraries, and it's also a safe haven. When I lived in Los Angeles, I went to the Studio City Library a lot, and a lot of unhoused would go there just for shelter. A place to rest, and they were not disruptive, not anything, but like libraries to me are safe havens.
They are.
That's why I was really drawn to this story, because it's spooky, but not in a scary way. Just sort of a like a comforting kind of way. Yeah. So when I die, I'm gonna haunt a library.
I'm gonna haunt a library for sure. I'm gonna haunt my college's library. Except for the wasps, I really loved being there.
What college?
I went to Texas Women's University
in Denton. Wasps?
Oh my God. Every spring on the 2nd and 3rd floor, there were all these like nooks you could go in with like desks and like a big window, and above kind of not like a skylight, but it was high enough that it felt like skylight-esque. And I loved sitting in those nooks. But every time I would go up to the 2nd floor and I'd just peer out from the stawow, and you could see wasps along the ceiling, and I'd be like, nope, and I'm going back down.
Yeah, that's not
calming. It was out of control every year. And I would like fucking park it in that library like for 12 hours and like study and just hang out and do whatever. Like I'd bring food. That was my safe haven in college. But I still love that place, even though, I mean, it's really old too, from, I don't know, early mid 1900s. So I guess it's not really old, but you know, old for a structure around here. I mean, a lot of buildings in Dallas or Texas area are not that old. 1800s is like super old.
I know. And I don't keep meaning to drop my little travel thing, but when I was in Ireland,
oh my God,
I was looking at these fucking buildings. I was like, I can't fathom this was in the 1600s. This was built.
Our country wasn't even a thing.
And like Americans have no concept of how old other countries are.
I know.
And to this day I think about that a lot, and I'm like, I don't understand how it lived, because we would knock shit over. Here in America.
Oh yeah.
We'd be like, rebuild it.
Rebuild. I know. I wish people took more care when they're building to make structures that are beautiful, long-lasting structures like they used to.
Yeah.
Like they used to make them.
Y'all, give me a fridge like they used to. You know?
Yeah. Give me an old fridge.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
Of course.
The library. And then, you know, when you pass, I'll be sure to go and check at the TW library.
Check out the T-Dub library.
T-Dub.
I'll be swatting at wasps, spraying them with Raid.
But that way, too, if I am a ghost at a library, I hope I can read.
I know.
Maybe that's why the books were on the floor, because they were trying to read them.
They were trying to read them.
They were knocking them over to open them. Oh, my God.
They couldn't get to them.
My heart.
I know. Oh, I have a spooky story for you.
Okay.
From work.
Yeah?
Okay. So I work in an ICU. I'm a nurse, but I work as an ECMO specialist. So I just do certain kind of life support. We won't get into all that today. But so I work in an ICU, and I work in a higher acuity ICU, like a cardiac intensive care unit, like sicker patients than any other kind of ICU I've worked in. Like these patients are just so much sicker. And so obviously there's a lot of deaths, like there's in any ICU, but we tend to have a lot more, I feel. And so there's one room that a nurse made a passing joke and said like, oh yeah, that one's haunted. The call light kept going on and off all night, and nobody was in the room. The TV kept going on and off. The lights kept going on and off. They had a lot of activity one certain night. And I was like, noted. I'm going to come check this out because I work night shift. Perfect time.
Absolutely.
So I found out another girl that I work with has done like paranormal investigations and stuff and has previously been into doing that and into the paranormal stuff.
Does she have an EVP?
She doesn't have an EVP. But
Amazon EVP.
We tried. So we did our own investigation one night. And so I told her the room that I was told was haunted. And I think she had heard about it, or maybe she hadn't. I'm not sure. So me and her marched down to that room. We're like down the hall. And when we walk in, the TV's on already. And so we go in, she turns the TV off, and the call light is like also the remote for the TV, plugs into the wall and like has a long cord so it can like reach the bed and stuff. Okay. So it was the way the cord was, it was like dangling over like a thing that like part of the monitor. Mm-hmm. So it was just like dangling in the open air. Nobody was touching it. So me and her are talking, and I was telling her about what I was told about the room.
Yeah.
And while we're talking, the TV turns back on. We were not even like in arm's reach of the remote.
Oh my God.
And so
it wanted you to know that it was there.
Yeah. And so we turned it back off. Then another day we tried to make a homemade Ouija board. Like I printed off a Ouija board and I got a little medicine cup. And so we were trying and nothing really happened. But then the next time I brought dowsing rods. Okay. Did you know what dowsing rods are?
Yeah.
Okay. So I brought my dowsing rods in.
Wait, for audience clarification, explain what
dowsing rods are like L-shaped metal rods. Mm-hmm. They're usually, I think, copper.
Yeah.
They've been used to find water sources out in land, but you can also use them to contact spirits. And usually you have them say, show me no, show me yes, show me maybe. Mm-hmm. And usually no is cross. No, yeah. And then when it like spreads wide, it's yes. And then maybe I think it is harder to interpret. I usually just judge that by like it kind of goes in the middle of yes and no.
Yeah, because they're constantly kind of in motion.
They're kind of in motion, yeah. And it's really hard to keep them still too, like after a while, because you're trying to keep them still so hard, like your arms kind of start shaking. But we're pretty sure that we contacted 3 different spirits. They all felt very different in like personality room? In this one room. One of them, somebody that had died in that room. And well, we think all of them were, but one of them confirmed that they were somebody that died in the room. And then one was really kind of felt like an ornery old man. Like he wasn't giving us straight answers, and he told us he was tired of us talking to him.
Oh my God, yeah, old.
Yeah. And so he was like, just leave me alone. But he showed up last, and it was so interesting because we were like, is there anybody else here that would like to speak? And like it just like the way the dowsing rods moved, like the speed they moved to answer questions kind of gave us an indication that we were talking to different spirits. But it was fascinating. And I haven't really we've had some patients in that room since, but I haven't really heard anything. And we've been really busy, so I haven't really been able to investigate anymore.
Visit,
but yeah, it was fascinating, and I was so excited to have like somebody
do it with.
Yeah.
I wonder if the ghosts miss you.
I know.
I
should go say hi.
Like, hey girl, except for that old ornery man.
I'll go say hi tonight. He'll be like, bitch, get out of my room.
So,
okay, Winter.
Sorry, that's my dog. I don't know if you heard her. We both started new jobs. Mm-hmm. My place is haunted.
No way.
Yeah. So
Tell me everything.
I work in a municipality now and in HR, but like my position is really interesting, and it's a small town. It's a very small population. I think the 15-mile radius is like the city.
Oh, wow.
So it feels small town in DFW, and I work at town center, which is like town hall or whatever. And my position, though it's in HR, it sits at the front of town center.
Okay.
Because anytime employees come in, I help, but residents too. So it's kind of a shifting position. It's interesting. And I didn't know when I started, which I feel like they should have told me beforehand. But the building, specifically where I sit, is haunted.
Oh my gosh.
And I noticed we have sliding glass doors. Mm-hmm. They would open 2 sets, like outside entry, inside entry. Mm-hmm. They would open on their own.
Just willy-nilly.
And I was like, oh, okay, just a glitch.
Yeah.
And there is a bathroom at the front, and it's just a very spooky kind of corner. Yeah. Because you have to go around this corner. It's very cold back there. They had to install heaters.
Oh my gosh.
Everything, the water is freezing. Everything is cold.
Wow.
Specifically in the downstairs one, not the upstairs one.
Okay.
The upstairs one is totally normal. Warm water, no issues. But the downstairs bathroom, toilets will flush on their own.
Oh my gosh.
No one will be in there. Water will come on its own.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, it's just an old building. It's not really. It's from the 1980s.
Yeah.
It's not that old of a building.
Yeah.
And then I think it was my 4th month in, I was talking to one of our finance women, and she was like, oh yeah, no one's told you about the guy who committed suicide in the downstairs bathroom.
What?
And I was like,
nobody mentioned that?
What? And she was like, yeah. She's like, the doors haven't opened for you? I go, yeah, they have. She's like, oh, yeah. Oh,
like
I didn't even mention
doors?
no, the front doors.
Oh, okay,
But there's an elevator.
Uh-huh.
The elevator's doors will open with no one inside and no one outside. No one has pressed the button.
Oh my gosh.
And I noticed it again, but here, like, my stupid ass.
What, you're not thinking
was like, oh, it's just, it just
technical
happens.
difficulties. Yeah.
Now I know that this, like, I don't remember. They said it was like in the 90s. This man walked in very calmly and through the front glass doors, went to the bathrooms on the downstairs level, which are like that, like, cold corner.
Creepy one. Yeah.
And he shot himself in the men's bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
And there are some, like, employees who will not go into the men's bathroom.
Really?
Like, a lot of the guys will be like, no, I'm just gonna go to the one upstairs. Like, they would rather go upstairs than go to that bathroom. And I was like, oh my God, like, did anyone figure out why he did that? No.
He didn't work there.
No, he didn't work there. He was a resident, just chose that building
to bestow his brains.
Yeah.
That's
and, like,
awful.
obviously they had to clean it up. It was like blocked off for a time.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so those, I mean, anytime the glass doors open, I'm always like, hey. Or if the elevator opens.
Do you know his name?
No, no one knew his name. Because I think only there's like, I think 3 people who still work.
Gotcha. That were there.
At the city who were there. You're like, yeah, we just celebrated this guy's
There's no, like,
40th
news articles?
anniversary. I haven't looked at any news articles. I should.
Should look and find out his name. Can we go to the men's bathroom?
Yes.
I want to go.
Because like I said, barely anybody goes to that one.
Yeah. We should go.
They choose not to.
We should we got equipment. We can invest in some more too.
Yeah. Well,
we get a REM pod.
And the thing about the city that I work for, it's kind of affluent.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of stories get buried.
Of course.
And
so there probably won't be any news articles about it.
I've never looked.
Yeah.
But now I really, really want to. So that's my homework.
Yeah, that's your homework.
I'm gonna get more information on that.
And then we pick a day, and I come to your work, and we do an investigation.
Like, hey, welcome in. Head on back.
Yeah. We'll get Steve-O to video us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
for the pod.
It's so weird. So
That's
we both have haunted new jobs.
That's amazing.
It is.
That's so crazy. Because it's like, when shit like that happens, you're just like, oh, I always just assume it's a technical thing, especially with hospital technology, like TVs and stuff. I'm like, this is probably the least serviced item technologically. Nobody's really putting work orders in for this, like all of our other equipment, because everything else takes such a higher priority.
Yeah, for to make someone live.
Yeah, exactly. So like nobody's putting in stuff like this, and the call buttons get shit on, they get pissed on, they get like vomited on, so I'm like, even though the closed things you can like easily wipe off, I'm like, after a while it's got to get some kind of short-circuited type of situation. So I even me, who's always looking for ghosts, I do not always look for ghosts apparently. It was not scary at all when that TV came on and that happened. I don't know about you, when that happened, were you ever scared, or were you just like, oh yeah, whatever?
I literally was like, oh, that's weird, but then I never thought again about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you just go on about your business, like your brain's trying to protect you a little bit.
Maybe
think.
So yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah. But even me, who's always waiting to have a paranormal experience, I was so quick to write it off too. And recently, I have 3 haunted dolls in my home.
You've told me about
that.
You've told me about
I got a new one over the course of our hiatus.
It's like, it's haunted? Like, when they
it
sold
is haunted.
It to you?
Yeah. And then I also bought a mirror on the marketplace that they said was haunted. They used to have, it was a mirror. The lady told me it was a mirror that her mother had.
Oh my God.
And her mother had stayed in that room. Winter, so cute. She just put her little paw on Emily's hand and just was like, hey, pet me.
Yeah, she grabs paws. Sweet. She also will swat phones out of hands.
Yeah, she wants attention.
So speaking of mirrors, like just a comment, not a distraction.
No,
but that is one thing I get really freaked out of buying used. Like if I go to antique stores and I see, because you know why? It's Haunting of Hill House, that Netflix show. Oh my God, that was the one episode that gave me nightmares.
I know.
And I was like, I can't, like, used mirrors really freak me out.
They do. Me too. And then I bought this one specifically that was haunted.
Me too. That's why I love it.
That's why I bought it.
Oh my God.
No, for sure. Like an innocent mirror would freak me out more than one that I already know is haunted, right?
Really?
So I guess it was like her mom's. Her mom died. And it was in her daughter's room. And her daughter's room, the door would just be open all the time. They would just see it opening constantly. And they would feel like a weird presence near the mirror.
Okay.
She said she would hear a humming sometime. Not like a humming, a singing, like a person humming. Like a low hum kind of.
Oh, it's an energy.
Yeah,
like
some kind of energy.
Sound.
Yeah, exactly. And so I have not experienced any of that. So I don't know if the spirit was like stuck to the mirror or it stayed with them. I'll have to reach back out to the person I bought it from and be like, do you guys still experience this? Because I haven't experienced anything. And I did try to contact anything that was in the mirror with my dowsing rods when I got them. When I bought them, I like dowsing rods everything. I was talking to everybody.
Hey, want to be my friend?
I know, want to be friends. With the explicit instruction that I'm only trying to communicate with a spirit in the mirror. That's how I prefaced it, because I did not want just anybody popping up. But
can I ask where in your house this mirror is?
I hung it in my office.
Okay.
It's above the green chair where Steve would sit when we recorded.
Okay.
Yeah. So I put it in there because Kevin was like, hell no, that thing's not going anywhere else. So all the haunted things are in my office. But my office does not feel weird to me.
It doesn't.
Like it feels fine. Nothing seems scary. Like I've not had any encounters with that. But I will say there have been a couple times I've been alone in the house. Like I'll be getting ready for work or doing something. And one time I distinctly heard a man's voice clearing his voice from the other room.
Like a
yeah, just like that. And I looked and I was like, oh, maybe it was my dog. Like dogs clear their voices. But I looked down and my dog is sleeping on the floor. And so I knew it wasn't any noise my dog could have made. And it sounded like it was from the other room. Mm-hmm. And then one time I had my door closed. I had closed my door for something. And I went in my office and I was doing something. And when I went back in to go to my room to get ready, my door was open. And I asked Kevin, I was like, did you open the door? Did you go in the bedroom at all? And he was like, no, I didn't go in the bedroom. I just, for some reason, distinctly remembered closing that door that day. And it was wide open and the light was on. But, you doubt it. You're like, did I really close it? Maybe I didn't close it. But I was like, for some reason, you gaslight yourself. But for some reason, I really felt like I closed that door. I really thought that I closed that door.
I bet you did. I believe that you did.
Yeah. It was strange. So, I've had a couple weird things in the house that I've probably brought in, but that's fine with
willingly.
me.
I paid money to bring it in.
I paid money. I feel like not only did I bring it in, I asked a spirit to come home with me. I fucking purchased that.
Like in New Orleans when they sell houses, they have to disclose whether or not it's haunted.
Yes.
I feel like you'd be like, oh, is this not haunted? Next.
I would, that would be a criteria with the realtor. I'd be like, I exclusively want houses that are haunted. So if you can't make that happen, we'll have to look somewhere else.
Oh my God.
I know, right?
Oh my
it's
God.
crazy. Okay, so my story. Oh, I did the wrong passcode. Let me pull up my other thing because I forgot to add one thing in it, and I want to make sure I give you all the deets.
Also, I just saw that Jen uses military time.
I do.
On her iPhone. I know a few people that do that, but I saw it and I go, I don't know what time that is.
It's on my computer. It's normal time.
Oh, okay, because I thought that's what she was doing, was checking the time. I was like, I think you're good, but then I saw that I still don't. Right now, I'm like, I don't know what that is.
At 15:42, that's just a 3:42.
3. Okay. Oh yeah, 12. 1, 2. Well, see, then I think.
But it's like easier when you get to a few hours away from noon because it's like, that makes sense. 12, 13, 14, 15. But then when it gets 9 o'clock, that's too much math. 2100, that's weird. Or I'll say like it's 2 o'clock, but I'll say what I'm trying to say 2200, which is 10 p.m. Because we use military time in the hospital. So I think I changed my phone to military time in college when I was in nursing school, and I've had it ever since. So
I always see that and I'm like, man, you must be real smart. One of the smartest women I know uses it, and I always am like, will it make me smarter?
It will make you smarter, I guaranteed.
Oh my God.
But you're already smart.
And then I really want people to see my phone and be like, damn.
I feel like most people are like, God, you're in military time. No! I feel like that's mostly the reaction. I guess.
Shit, they're smart.
Well, damn. Now I feel real smart today.
Good. I feel dumb.
Okay. So my story is on the Occidental Hotel.
Ooh. In Wyoming.
In Wyoming. So the Occidental Hotel, or the Ox for short, is located at 10 North Main Street in Buffalo, Wyoming. It was established in 1880 by Charles Buell as a simple log structure that quickly became one of the most renowned hotels in Wyoming. And the original hotel only had 6 rooms. So the Ox is located near the Bozeman Trail, which is I had to look it up. Yeah, it's one of those trails that went somewhere, but where was it? So it connected the Gold Rush territory of southern Wyoming or southern Montana to the Oregon Trail in eastern Wyoming. Oh. So it was a major part of the route used by the Bozeman Trail travelers in 1864. Or I guess its important period was from 1863 to 1868.
Damn, it's long. I pulled it up. Yeah. It's a long fucking trail. It's a long-ass trail.
Yeah. It largely crossed the 1851 Crow Indian Treaty guaranteed territory west of Powder River. So the Bozeman Trail, this location of where the hotel is along the Bozeman Trail, sits at the foot of the Bighorn Mountains, and it was a popular stop for people traveling along the trail on their way to homesteads and prosperity to rest and refuel, like with energy, because cars weren't a thing yet.
Yeah. No, they were getting those freaking wagons.
Yeah, no cars. And it was known as for its fine dining and hospitality. In its heyday, the Ox was a favorite stop for famous visitors, including Buffalo Bill Cody, Teddy Roosevelt, and Calamity Jane. Jane? Did I say Drain?
Drain. Calamity Jane.
Calamity Jane. That sounds like a brand name for Drano or something. Calamity Drain. We're going to fuck your drain up.
Oh, but I bet you'd have a really cute logo, though.
I bet it would.
Because I'd make it a girl.
It'd be pink.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Could have some sparkles on it.
Oh, my God.
TM. We're TMing this. So those people who drove freight wagons on the Bozeman Trail, per the Occidental's website, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid rode to the Occidental from their hideout at the nearby Hole in the Wall. Owen Wister, author of The Virginian, is said to have written his book at the hotel and based many of its characters on the cowboys and gunslingers he encountered while staying there. Local ranchers and cowboys frequented its saloon, making it a lively place where stories and occasionally fists flew. In 1892, the hotel played a role during the Johnson County War, which was a conflict between cattle barons and homesteaders. The Ox was a hub for meetings and gossip about the unfolding drama, and it said that some key players in the feud strategized within its walls. By the early 1900s, the hotel transitioned from a rough-and-tumble saloon to a more upscale establishment, complete with fine dining and elegant furnishings. It maintained its Western charm, but aimed to attract more genteel clientele, including railroad travelers.
Okay, genteel. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
I think it means probably people who are not throwing fists at a bar.
Right. Okay. Hold on. I need to get...
Let's get a definition.
Because I've heard it... Oh my God, not genital herpes.
Genital.
How do you spell gentle?
Genteel.
Oh, I was doing with an I. I hate my... Oh my God. What? No, this... Wait, spell it again?
Okay, I have it as Gentel.
Oh my God. Well,
maybe it's spelled differently.
Oh, my sound has turned all the way. Genteel. It's genteel says a person who is not Jewish.
What?
The word stems from the Hebrew term joy, which means nation. Hold on. Gentile.
Oh, that's Gentile. No, that's like from the Bible.
Oh my God. Okay, so I misspelled it. I'm gonna hate myself.
Genteel. Gen and Genteel.
Oh my God. Okay, what? Here's the deal. I've never seen that word.
Really?
Spelled out.
I don't think I have either until now.
Oh my God, no, I've never seen this word.
Yeah. It says polite, refined, or respectable, often in an affected or ostentatious way.
Oh my God. Well, in French, it's spelled Gentil, like gentile.
Oh, okay.
Well born.
Yeah. So like fancier people.
Genteel.
Yeah. They wanted fancy bitches in their hotel.
Who know what the word genteel means.
Exactly. And how to spell it.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'll go back to the All-Star Resort at Disney World.
However, during the Great Depression era of the 1930s, the splendor of the hotel began to fade as money became scarce. Business dried up, and by the 1980s, the hotel fell into disrepair, becoming a shell of its former glorious self. Despite being run down, the building was purchased in 1997 by Dawn Dawson, who began a 10-year process of historic restoration. During this time, she initiated and achieved getting the hotel on the National Historic Registry. In 2006, after the north wing of the hotel was restored, they became known for the saloon's famous Thursday night Occidental Jam, where local and visiting musicians played bluegrass, folk, and country music every Thursday night at 7 p.m., which still happens today. That's still a thing that happens, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's super cool. The breakfast joint downstairs called the Busy Bee.
Oh, hell yeah.
I know, right?
I love breakfast joint.
I love a breakfast. I'm a slut for hotel breakfast in any capacity, from Best Western.
Oh, 100%.
You know, an array of hard bagels, cereal, and maybe a waffle machine.
Oh,
all
and
the way
it's
up
shaped
to like a
like
restaurant.
Texas. That hits different.
Yeah. So the breakfast joint downstairs, called the Busy Bee, was a favorite haunt of the author Craig Johnson as he wrote the Longmire mystery novels that would eventually become the TV show Longmire. Have you ever heard of that show?
No.
I feel like I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. I wonder if I feel like it was on Netflix, but I don't know if it originated there or...
When you mentioned the author, I was like, oh, what did he write? Oh, no, this is not something I would have watched. Yeah, it's Longmire. It's a Western.
Yeah.
But it only lasted 6 episodes.
Oh.
That's what it says.
That's funny you say that, because every summer the town of Buffalo temporarily becomes Durant, Wyoming, the fictional town in the show that the characters lived and worked in. The annual celebration, aptly called Longmire Days, honors the author and the real-life locations and landmarks in the community that inspired the series.
Wait,
during this time...
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
I don't know where I was getting that. It has 6 seasons.
Oh, okay. I was like, they do this whole thing called Longmire Days for 6 episodes?
No, 6 seasons.
Okay, that makes more sense.
63 episodes.
That's so funny.
I apologize, Longmire.
No, you're fine.
You live long and prosper.
The annual celebration, aptly called Longmire Days, honors the author and the real-life locations and landmarks in the community that inspired the series. During this time, real-life Hollywood celebs make Occidental their temporary home as they come to visit for the festivities. Today, the Ox operates as a hotel, museum, and historic landmark, with many of its original features preserved, including the bar, tin ceilings, and creaky wooden floors.
Oh.
The original ceilings of the saloon were brought to the hotel in a horse-drawn wagon countless years ago. Even the bullet holes you see in the saloon are original. I know.
From the duels.
From the duels. From the Western duels, from the gunslingers.
They never respecting the history, respecting the people who died in them duels.
I love it, man. I fucking love it. I love them ratty, drunk ass people throwing their guns.
Well, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that they didn't fill them in.
Yeah.
Or hide them, because we were just talking about how in America we tend to just like knock down old buildings and
Band-Aid it, cover it up, like
but
it never happened.
That's cool.
I know. I like that.
That's
a lot.
worth going just to see.
I know. I like the character of that a lot.
Yeah, I respect that.
I know. But like any self-respecting historic Western hotel, the Occidental is rumored to be a hotspot for paranormal activity and is said to be the most haunted hotel in Wyoming.
What?
The most commonly seen ghost at the Ox is that of a young girl named Emily. Emily!
It's me.
It's you. Legend has it that Emily was a young woman who lived at the Ox during its early years. Some versions of the tale describe her as a maid or a guest, while others say she was the daughter of a prostitute who operated out of the bordello suite in the hotel. While historians are unsure whether the hotel ever served as a brothel, many employees believe it did, using the scuffed-up stairs and gouges left behind by cowboys at the back of the building as evidence.
Oh my God.
The suite, now known as the Bordello Suite, is allegedly where the brothel occurred. A hostess at the hotel once experienced seeing one of these cowboys walking from the back of the stairs of the bordello room.
Shut up. I looked it up. I'm just looking at pictures
of it.
It's
so cool. Emily reportedly passed away in the hotel from cholera or typhoid fever or some other old-timey disease in the early 1900s. Some old-timey shit. She's described as thin with long dark hair and with a kind but sad expression.
Oh.
I know. Emily is usually described as a benevolent spirit who seems more playful than frightening. Guests and staff have reported several eerie yet harmless encounters linked to her. Emily is known for her soft melodic humming, often heard in hallways or near the rooms. Some say the tune is sorrowful, while others find it oddly comforting.
Oh my God.
I know, right?
Did you mention how old she was?
She was like 6 or 7. She was young.
Aww.
Definitely a child, but not like a toddler. Is the vibe I get. Guests have also described the sensation of feeling a small hand tap their shoulder or pull on their pant leg, only to turn around and find no one there. There have been touches in the bar and sometimes pinches.
Get it, girl.
Others have heard a ball bouncing in the upstairs hallway or a girl laughing, but there's nobody there. She is also said to occasionally appear in mirrors, dressed in period clothing before fading away. Reportedly, the closer to the bordello suite, the more often Emily appears.
Interesting.
She's also said to have a sweet little orange tabby cat while she was alive. So now a stuffed orange tabby is kept near the room where Emily died to help keep her spirit happy.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why she's not killing people.
I know. And in the room where the stuffy holds watch outside. Sorry, I said stuffy. I have kids.
No,
I have like little
totally.
kids.
I thought you were. I called it
stuffed
stuffy.
Animal. Her stuffy.
It's stuffy.
Children often have left notes to Emily. Many of the notes discuss how much fun they had playing with her.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But that That's creepy.
That's kind of creepy. It's sweet, but creepy.
If I had a kid and we stayed at the hotel and they were talking about my friend Emily and I played, I'd be like, you shut the fuck up.
You didn't play with nobody. You didn't play with nobody.
You saw and heard nothing.
Although I would be like, what did she look like? What was her name? Was she nice?
If you could put Carolyn in there.
I would ask so many questions. They would not answer them because they would know I wanted to know the information. That's how they are now. Whenever they say they saw something weird, I'm like, oh, tell me everything. And they don't really give me any information. And I can't tell if it's because just out of spite or because they didn't really see anything.
Or maybe the entity told them to shut up.
Yeah.
Or I'll kill your parents.
Well, I tell them if anything tells you that, they're lying and you are the person and they are not.
That's true. You're living.
You have the power. Yeah. So
that's sad.
They've had a lot of weird lectures about shit like that.
I want you to know, if a ghost speaks to you,
you are in
control.
You tell them to go away. It's true, though. So 2 young women who came to work at the hotel one summer separately described incidents where they saw a girl hiding behind a door trying to play hide and seek with them.
Aww.
However unsettling that may feel, one of the desk clerks believes her spirit is also protective in nature. She describes an incident where one man left in the middle of the night because Emily wouldn't stop jumping on his bed. The staff later found out the man was a wanted felon. Yeah. And during the renovation, a contractor claimed to have seen a little girl in a nightdress standing in part of the hotel that was partway through demolition. While Emily is certainly a prominent figure haunting the hotel, the employees and guests describe many more encounters not attributed to her. An employee describes seeing something moving out of the corner of his eye, seeing strange shadows by the chairs, like when he's cleaning up the rooms, and feeling like someone is in the room with him. But when he looks, there's nobody there. Many of the staff believe the energy from the Thursday night jam sessions tends to spark activity because you can hear the music like throughout the whole hotel.
Yeah.
A waitress at the cafe next to the hotel once came into the empty hotel lobby after one such jam session and heard a key go ding on the piano in front of the hotel desk. At first, she thought she was mistaken, thinking it must be somebody's cell phone going off or like some alarm somewhere, like a timer. But then it happened again. When she asked an employee if there was any kind of digital alarm or something that might go ding, she was told there wasn't anything like that in the lobby. That night, she had a nightmare about being upstairs in the hotel where she was running frantically and scared to death. I know.
Oh my God.
I know. That same woman also said she had heard someone call her name in the saloon, even though she was the only one there at the time.
Oh.
Yeah. A woman who works in the bar reports seeing bottles of alcohol pop off the shelves or randomly pop their corks. She has also seen glasses shatter for no reason. Like they set up a glass to make a drink and then like it just shatters while they're getting the alcohol and stuff ready.
It was shot by a ghost gun.
It was shot. Dude, what if?
Ghost gun, ghost duel.
That's so true. I didn't even think about that. A husband and wife staying in the Herbert Hoover room reported smelling a lady's perfume. One room, named the Hole in the Wall, is often associated with apparitions of cowboys leaning against the stone wall and disappearing after being glimpsed by ghosts.
Interesting.
The Prairie Cowboy Room is said to have the most paranormal reports, with many guests reporting visible entities whooshing around the room late at night. Literally, they said whooshing.
Whooshing?
Whooshing. Yeah.
Okay.
In room 56, there was an old-timey heavy metal iron in the corner of the room for decor, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And a man staying in the room reported that he heard the iron move across the floor in the middle of the night. The first time he put it back, but then he heard it move again. So he just told the spirit, really, it's okay there if you're fine with it there. Like, good night. It's like, just fucking leave it alone. You can have it there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Some have also seen an apparition of President Teddy Roosevelt getting ready for a fishing trip in the library because he was like known to do that.
At that hotel?
At that hotel. Yeah, because he was one of the famous visitors that had been there.
I wonder if Teddy Roosevelt just like picks where he's going to haunt.
I know, right? Or like maybe you just leave pieces of yourself at places, like places that you really enjoyed and had a really enjoyable time, or like maybe even didn't have a great time, really traumatic experiences. Like, it's kind of like Voldemort and his Horcruxes.
Bitch, I was literally like a little Horcrux.
I feel like you leave a bit of yourself some places.
Oh my God.
You know?
I'll let you know. From beyond if I go first.
Yeah, please do. One of the most commonly seen apparitions is that of a woman in a white dress. She is believed to be Margaret, the former lady of the house, whose clothes are actually on display on mannequins in the hallways. Guests have reported seeing her floating down the hallway as if she were checking in to ensure guests were well taken care of.
She's like, give me my clothes back.
Yeah. And lastly, some people just describe just a general overall sense of unease in the hotel. Just like the vibe is off. But that's...
Some people are more sensitive to that.
Some people are really sensitive to that. As try as I might, am not sensitive to anything like that.
Really?
I'm like oblivious. I wonder if it's just being ADHD. You are focused on so many things going on that like you don't hyper focus onto that. Like sometimes a vibe Like when I walk into work, I can feel it. You can sense the vibe, right? So when I'm going places like that, I sense a vibe. But like, it's more of the energy of the other people there, not like underlying feeling. I can feel that everybody's stressed. Or it feels tense, you know, or, you know, when it's light and we're not having a busy day and, you know, the mood is kind of like, we're just kind of goofing around.
I definitely get feelings of unease. Like if I'm in a specific, I keep thinking, this was my whole family. There was a couple, oh my God, I haven't even gotten into it, but we have stayed at some really weird places, like in the Smoky Mountains, in Montana, and all these places. Like there was a point in time where, if you don't mind, I can just tell this. This is just one, but there's been plenty that I could bring. So we stayed in a cabin in Montana, and it was like, I remember we had this big green club van, and we had to go through this dirt road in the dark. So we were already like a little uneasy because we were like, oh my God, it's pitch black. This is a dirt fucking road. So there's all this dust, you know, being blown up. But we find the cabin and we were like, okay, well, we're here. And we go in. And I mean, I swear to God, every single person in my family was like, oh, okay. Like no one wanted to sleep alone.
Yeah.
Everything was Native American themed. Like there was Native American paintings, Native American like little busts, like all this stuff. And we were already like great, like we love the vibe, but no one felt comfortable. So everyone paired up with someone. My brother paired up with my mom, my sister paired up with her boyfriend at the time, and I paired up with my dad. And we were like, no one is sleeping alone. And no, like there was just this general feeling of unease. And I was little. I was probably like, I don't know, 8 or 9. And I remember not wanting to go to the bathroom by myself. I remember looking at specific paintings and just being like, I don't like that. It was very reminiscent of like, do you ever watch Parks and Rec? Like the paintings of Pawnee. Where I was just kind of like, this makes me uncomfortable. And there's just a general sense of unease. And none of us like went and explored outside. Like one, it was dark, but two, like we were like, no.
Just generally didn't feel.
So that night I slept with my dad because I did not want to be alone. Nobody wanted to be alone. And okay, like just to preface, we left the next morning because no one slept well. I did, but my dad said he stayed up all night because at one point I fell asleep and I sat straight up, like legs straight, back straight up, and started having a conversation with somebody like on the other end of the bed, like on the foot of the bed. I had a straight up conversation. He like, I don't remember if he had the details of what it was, but he said he just kind of looked at me and did not move. Like he just stayed laying down watching me talk.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, you don't remember that? And I said, no.
And I'm assuming you don't have a history of sleep talking or like anything like that.
No.
So that was like totally out of left field.
Especially sitting straight up. I've always had horrible posture. It's something my mom has always griped to me about. But he said your back was straight in a way. Like, if I just physically saw you, I would have freaked out. But then I was also hearing you, and I was freaked out.
Oh, my God.
Back was completely straight. And it was like that. And I don't remember. I don't remember any of it. I remember going and being really weirded out. I don't remember the evening. But then that morning, we just all sort of felt like, we're not staying here, right? And we all left.
That's amazing.
Like, we had paid for like 3 or 4 nights. We got a hotel. We left because my dad was like, nope. After I saw what happened to you, we're not staying in this place. We don't know if it was on top of a burial ground. We don't know if, like, we don't know. But my dad has always firmly believed that, like, if Emily feels uncomfortable, we should go. And
I think you just have to listen to your gut. And when that many people have a gut instinct about something, I just think that means something. Like, that means something.
The only other time was when we stayed at the Smoky Mountains. We had a cat. Look, my family loves a cabin. We love a
my
fucking
family
cabin.
loves a cabin too, girl. But bitches love cabins.
We love cabins. We went to the Smoky Mountains. We stayed along this river.
That's like Appalachian Trail territory.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, ma'am. And the cabin was beautiful. It was very cute. And we each had a room. Like, it was big enough to where we could each have a room. And by this time, I was like 15, 16. I think I was going into my sophomore year of high school. And I picked my own room, and it was like one of those cabins that kind of hung off like on like over the river. So it was like a ledge one. I remember putting my bag down and then just kind of like laying down and being like, no, I'm not going to sleep here. So my sister and I shared a bed in this other room. I slept all night.
Yeah.
My sister did not.
Bitch, you always be sleeping in these creepy places.
Yes. And so she had an experience, and then I think my mom had an experience where, like, I was knocked out, but she said I was moving my legs a lot. But then she started to hear footsteps in that room that I was supposed to stay in.
Yeah.
And she was like, you were moving, but there were footsteps in that room. She's like, then the light turned on. The door was closed. We closed the door to that room because I was like, I don't want to stay in there.
Yeah.
We're all a little freaked out. And like that night, there was one TV, and we're like, we each like had books. You could go outside, you could do all this stuff.
Yeah.
None of us wanted to be alone.
Yeah.
So we all collectively sat where this TV was. And I remember very vividly, we watched Everybody Loves Raymond because no one wanted to be alone. And it wasn't something like we talked about. We were just kind of like, no, like, I'm okay with you. Like, we'll just like hang tight.
Yeah.
So we went to bed. I was moving my feet. My sister heard footsteps and saw the light come on in that room, like under the floor or under the door. And she was like, oh my God. And then my mom was in a different room. She goes, I heard the footsteps too. And she was like, I didn't sleep all night. We ended up staying there for like the allotted time or whatever. Yeah. And it was only that first night there that they all experienced something weird. But yeah, man, we stay in some weird
shit.
If we can get a deal, we're going to book it.
See, we've stayed in so many cabins too. And I don't know if I just didn't notice anything. Some of them have given me like vibe where I don't feel comfortable here. Like I just don't feel comfortable. And I can remember a few of them like distinctly that I did not feel comfortable at. But I don't remember experiencing anything specifically. But I just remember feeling like I don't feel comfy here. Don't feel comfy cozy. But and I feel like when I was in Santa Fe, I experienced that too.
Oh yeah,
Santa Fe is like
full of ghosts,
rife with spirits. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh my God. That's so crazy, girl.
It's super. Yeah. We talk about it all the time as a family. People are like, do you remember when? And we're like, yep.
We need to have your parents book, like, just have them pick a.
Find a cabin.
Yeah, find a cabin. And then we'll do an investigation there because bound to be haunted.
Find a cabin. You book it because you have a terrible judgment.
Sixth sense for,
terrible judgment on where. Yeah. And like my husband does not like Airbnbs, cabins, anything like that because he's worried about like cameras. He doesn't trust. He's like not very trusting of people. So we are hotel people, and we like continental breakfast we talked about.
Continental breakfast, you can't beat it. You don't have a continental breakfast in an Airbnb.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, that was the Occidental Hotel and the
Sweetwater County Library.
Hell yeah! Well, thank you guys for listening to us and our stories and our ramblings on about haunted encounters, but we hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, and we cannot wait to hear your stories.
Yes, so please send them in to our email. It's inmyhauntederapod@gmail.com. Jen here, just dropping in to let you know that our email address is actually inmyhauntederapod@gmail.com. Please disregard the previous statement as we had not thought about that email address in 6 months. Now back to the show.
Thank you for remembering that.
I think that's right. It was not right.
See, we'll post it somewhere.
Post it. It will be in the show notes of this episode. Please send us your haunted stories. We'll have a whole episode dedicated to that coming up soon once we've accumulated enough. And send us your stories. We want to hear them. Follow us on the socials. In My Haunted Era.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Do we have a Twitter?
I don't do. Is it X now?
It's X now. We'll just focus on the Instagram.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get a TikTok going.
An X, but I don't know. Yeah, now that TikTok's back, now I feel confident into making that.
We'll get a TikTok going. We have dreams of doing video episodes too. Yeah. So we're easing into it. But so we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.
Have a spooky week.
Stay creepy.
Bye.
Bye.